you know?
Well, Dave, no, I keep telling people that I absolutely love Ireland, and it feels like home. But then when I came to Alberta, there's just a real sentiment among Albertans, and just kind of the way they are
Good.
reminds me a lot of the Irish people. So I think
There you go.
we probably
We'll get on all right.
Yeah, we must have been in the same landmass at some point back then.
Yeah.
I was at a meeting last night with a bunch of men, and we were just talking about the situation and what's going on in the country and what we can do as men to try to change it. And one of the guys had said that central Alberta, where I live, is kind of a weird pocket where people actually think that they can get involved and change something. In most of the country, like Ontario, the Quebec, the Maritimes, people have just been so beaten up by the government that they've already given up and they're resigned to whatever the government is doing. And you have no idea how happy I am to hear a guy from Ireland have some fight and life in him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's
not the only one.
Yeah, you know, it warms my heart to see normal people from their communities that have never been politically active, that have never been politically astute, because for a long time in Irish society, if it's not knocking at your door, leave it alone, don't worry about it. But now it's knocking at everybody's door.
Yeah.
So when you have women with toddlers and babies, newborn babies and prams, marching the streets at night to protect their neighborhoods, trying to shut down the city center to say, we need something done here. Like, when these women and children took to the streets initially, they were called right-wing element. Okay? Only a couple of months after that, there was a massive stabbing and a child got stabbed in the heart. And that was all over the news. Stabbed by a foreign national who had been in the country for so many years, had never worked a day in his life. And so the parents were right. And then we had the riots in Dublin because people were like, we've had enough of this. Yep. Now, of course, when people riot, they do stupid stuff because you've got mob mentality. You've got agitators, right? Government agents, agitators in there causing trouble to rile people up. You got a lot of young people on the street who'll go, oh, I'm an opportunist. I'm going to break that. I'm going to steal that. But that wasn't the point of the riot. The point of the riot was, we have had enough. We have had enough. School children have been stabbed. That child is in an awful state. Now, there's somebody that I know that works in the paramedics that was there looking after that kid. Okay? And I've got to be careful with my words here. But when they left her at the hospital, it was a no-go for that child. You know? But they stitched the child's heart together. They got her on life support. And they kept her alive. Now, there was none of this in the news. It was all about the riots are disgraceful and these people should be punished and we're going to lock up these people and how dare they ruin their city. Well, hold on a minute. We've had this under cult of anger, of frustration, and that child getting stabbed was the tipping point. People just had enough. Yeah. And even over the last couple of days, they've arrested a load of people. There was a guy charged today, 61-year-old guy charged today with burning a Lewis, a tram, city centre tram. Nothing has been said about the guy, the foreign national, that stabbed that child. Not only did he stab that child, he stabbed another woman. He stabbed a man. Nothing has been said about that. There's no update on the child's health. But one of the guys I trained jiu-jitsu with, his kids are in that school. He's helped raise money for that child. So I know exactly what's going on with that kid. That kid was doing okay. And then the child had a step back. And this is what was said. The child we knew the child was communicating because she was able to blink. This is a 6-year-old child. And the guy never worked in the country in his life. He's got free housing, free healthcare, free money. Now, at the riots, we had everybody from all the parts of the communities in that city. From everybody. From non-native people, non-national people to come and go, this is wrong. You have to stop this. This is wrong. It wasn't just a group of we're right-wing Dublin youth causing trouble. We had Asian kids, Asian parents. we got African kids, African parents, Irish kids, Irish parents. We all came together and said, no, enough. But still nothing about that child. Still nothing about your man that did the stabbing. In actual fact, one of the guys who was a hero, in fairness, was a Brazilian guy, right? Now, they ran with this story. And I have lots of Brazilian friends, and I train with them, and they're all good people. There was a Brazilian guy that arrived on the scene and hit the attacker over the head with the helmet, right? Now, who actually disarmed him was stabbed, and she's still in a bad way. I know this woman's brother. He actually made this t-shirt for me. He prints t-shirts. She was the one that disarmed him. There was another man there that helped disarm. He got stabbed. But because it was a non-national Brazilian guy that helped, they ran with that story. He's the hero. And he is a hero. But what about the other people? So they set up a GoFundMe page. The GoFundMe raised hundreds of thousands for that Brazilian guy. And fair play. But nothing for the others. He was interviewed on television. He was interviewed on radio. And rightly so. But so should everybody else. Now, that guy that I know pulled the Brazilian fella and said, hey, look, we're trying to get everybody a piece of the pie here. The kid that was stabbed, the other kids that are traumatized. This was during the day, 2 o'clock in the day, attack in the middle of the street. So he said, yeah, I will donate €100,000